Good evening and happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great start to their week. New week, fresh start. The title of my podcast tonight, as you noticed, is What Are You Afraid of 2? And the reason I named it that is because I have talked a few days ago, I talked about fear. And I asked you what you were afraid of. I talked about some of the irrational fears that people have. For example, the fear of public speaking, the fear of asking someone out, the fear of starting a business or going back to school, or whatever their fear is. Most of the time, the reason they don't do these things is because they are afraid. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of what others might say. They're afraid that they make a mistake. They manufacture all these fears in their mind, which keeps them to where they are. It doesn't allow them to go out and try those new things. They stay in that box that they think they're supposed to be in. I also talked in that previous video about how ever since the time we were kids, we're told what we can't do. We're programmed to think that we can't do this. And like I said before, because you're from a small town, or you're a man, or you're a woman, or you're a certain age, or whatever the reason is, everyone wants to tell you what you can't do. So we talk about those irrational fears coming from those things. But what I want to talk about tonight is the fear of success. And believe it or not, most people are afraid of success. Here's why. I'm going to give you a saying that I love this saying, and I want you to really think about this saying, okay? We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So, how we were raised, what experiences we have, those are the things that determine our perspective on the world. See, the brain is the mind is very powerful. And it's actually almost like a thermostat, if you were to put it in an analogy. In your house, if you set your thermostat on 70 degrees, when the house cools down to about 68, 67 degrees, the thermostat engages and turns the furnace on. The furnace heats the house up to probably about 72, maybe 73 degrees. The furnace shuts off then and allows the house to cool back down to the level at which you have told it you are comfortable. It's the same thing with your brain. We get to a certain level of accomplishment, a level of success, a level of achievement, and if we've been told long enough and by enough people or by our own perceptions that we're outside our comfort zone, we're outside the box, we're somewhere where we don't belong, we will actually sabotage our success. An example that I give, I have a friend of mine that talked about this, and she talked about being in a relationship with a boyfriend, and he just seemed like he was so much better than her, in her words. He had more money than her, more education, and all these things. And everything was going really great. So she got scared at a certain point and really kind of started to sabotage the relationship subconsciously, because in her mind, she didn't feel like she belonged there. She didn't feel like she was good enough for him. It's the same thing with our success, okay? When we get to a certain level of success, we start to sabotage ourselves subconsciously if indeed we don't feel like we deserve that success or we belong there. So here's the key to getting past that. You must be able to visualize yourself in whatever situation you say you want to be in, whether it's a certain house, a certain car, a certain income level, a certain degree, a certain success rate, whatever it is. Think about professional athletes. The most successful professional athletes, the superstars, the Hall of Famers, to a man or woman, say the same thing. They run through their performance in their mind before they ever take the field to play. Super Bowl is a perfect example. How many people like Marshall Faulk and Kurt Warner, some of those guys go through an entire game in their mind of exactly how they want it to go and exactly what they're going to do before they ever get on the field. Because if you can't actually visualize yourself in that position of success, winning that game, earning that money, driving that car, dating that girl or guy, owning that house, then you will never be able to achieve it, because you will always look at yourself as being outside of your comfort zone, and you'll subconsciously sabotage yourself. I want you to really think about that one. I'm going to mention before I get off here how to reach out to me, as always. Clearly on YouTube, it's Big Norm 1963. On Facebook, it's Buff Monkey Marketing for my business page. My personal page is Bob Norman. On Instagram, it's Buff_Monkey. On Twitter, @Buff_Monkey. And my email address is Buff_Monkey@Reagan, just like the president.com. So if you want to reach out to me, comment on this video, let me know what you think. Give me some suggestions on topics you'd like me to talk about in future podcasts. I'd love to hear from you. So everyone have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Talk to you guys later.